So these backup cameras in cars today are just so weird. You look at the screen, but it's just, I don't know, you're missing something. There's just, you're definitely missing something with the camera. You know, you need to like incorporate it in with the mirrors somehow, but it just doesn't seem to be like seamless, you know? Like when you look at the camera, like my focus or something changes, and then when I look back, like with the, like out the windows, I'm like off or something. I don't know, it's really strange, but anyway, I just wanted to speculate a little bit with you guys, because I was looking at that Canon GX1 or whatever I think it is. It's like a, it has an APS-C sensor in it and a zoom lens, but it's like a compact, you know, all-in-one type camera. So that led me to speculate. I wonder if Sony's working on one of these units, and the reason I think they might be, they used to have this thing called the Sony R1. It was called. It was, I believe it was the R1. And it had like a 28 to 135 or something along those lines millimeter lens, and it was like a pretty beefy camera, very similar to the RX10 Mark IV style. I think they might come out with another version of that camera, like the ultimate all-in-one. I mean, if they put the A6500 sensor and image stabilization rig inside that camera, it's not too heavy, you know, and all-in-one with the APS-C sensor from Sony, you know, like a Sony quality camera like that would be phenomenal. The Canon, as good as it is, kind of sucks. The zoom's just not enough. The aperture really isn't fast enough for anything special per se. So, you know, I mean, I know it's going to be hard to get a wide aperture and have a zoom, you know, and keep the camera small. It's not really exactly easy to do that, but if anybody can do it, Sony can. So I'm curious to see what they're going to come up with if they do in fact come out with this camera. So officially speculating that, you know, Sony might come out with a new R1 at some point. And another reason why I think this is because there's just something in the ether. You could almost smell it. I saw Chris Nichols from the camera store. He did like a, you know, a camera flashback type thing, and guess what? The camera he chose was the R1, and he was actually talking to Gordon Lang in like Manhattan or something on the street talking about the camera. And then I also saw Gary Friedman. He was talking about the R1 as one of the, you know, as one of his favorite old school cameras. And you know, I really think it would be a killer option. And you know, something around, probably be somewhere around, knowing Sony, you know, in between 1,000, 1,500. You know, put the 4K in there. You know, put everything in there. And you know, a lot of customers I think will go for that. It's a great in-between, you know, because the RX10 has that 1-inch sensor, and as good as it is, it lacks a little bit in low light. So if Sony could do something about that with the larger sensor, that would appeal to some people with the low light concerns. And also the depth of field would be, you know, you'd have much more versatility with the depth of field with that larger sensor, which a lot of people prefer over the 1-inch sensor. Although the RX10 Mark IV 1-inch sensor, I mean, with that zoom lens, it goes all the way up to 600 millimeter, 24 to 600. You get some killer separation, you know, with that lens and sensor setup as well. So it's not really the end of the world, you know. I'm just going to turn around here. So, anyways, I'm recording with the FDR-X3000, and it's suction cupped to my windshield, and it's working pretty good so far. I don't know what you guys think. Hopefully it's not too shaky and the audio is reasonable. We'll find out. You know, that's what this camera is designed for, so I figured I would just do fun little segments like this and, you know, just bullshit with you for a couple minutes or whatever. Alright, so I'm going to head back this way, and I'll catch up with you guys later. Stay tuned for some action footage coming soon with this camera. I love how you can use the remote here just to turn it on and off, because, you know, it's awkward to hit the button on the windshield, but you just